antarvikalpaśūnyasya bahiḥ svacchandacāriṇaḥ bhrāntasyeva daśāstāstāstādṛśā eva jānate. The different conditions of a wise man who, devoid of any thoughts within, outwardly roams about in his own joy like a deluded man. He can be only understood by those like him. Chinmaya has loaded many expressions in his commentary on this verse. Some or most of those expressions have been taken verbatim, and the talk is based on those expressions. Describing a man of wisdom, he says, a man of wisdom is free of hesitations, doubts, uncertainties, confusions. These are Chinmaya's expressions. To that, one more has been added, free of hopes and expectations. Hesitations. Sometimes he may hesitate to speak truth, depending upon the receptivity of the people. Otherwise, there is no hesitation caused due to any fear, any ego. There are no doubts, no uncertainties, no confusions, no sankalpa vikalpa in him whatsoever. Free of hopes and expectations. This is literally experienced in his case with the last of the expectations to leave him is that the disciples would be in intense sadhana without a gap, with clarity of their only goal. Then he says, a man of wisdom lives his spontaneous life divine and is established in higher plane of consciousness. This is true. Most of the times he exists in his sahaja, spontaneous samadhi, life divine. Gets to human level for very few hours on a day, that too if need arises, to deal with family or any other worldly level dharma, obligations, etc. Obligations. It is to be noted that a sincere sadhaka has to follow all these descriptions and try to lead life in the same way. To strive to exist in higher plane of consciousness most of the times, and must come down only for bare minimum needs or bare minimum dharma. Of course, needless to say, he says this to sadhakas without expectations. He has no ego sense. Once vasanas are gone, every moment, everyone is seen as a new being in a new moment. Every object is seen without any coloring of ego within. No laws applicable to him, social, political, religious, rituals, traditions. Yes, at that transcendental state, he doesn't remember any law. No laws are applicable. But in his spontaneity, he follows all the laws to perfection. Perfection cannot result in anything imperfect. So any laws against imperfection are automatically followed by him as a perfectionist without any deliberation or thought. No need for a Jivan Mukta to even wear anything in Himalayas. Still, something would be there to cover him. He doesn't differentiate between male and female, but still, when a female prostrates, his hands stop spontaneously from hugging. These are all not due to worldly rules. These are all spontaneous perfections. Next, he is careless of the consequences. Most of the times, he is careless of the consequences, except where he must care if he is still in the world, still in the Grahastha ashrama or any other ashrama. He has no desires, no wants, no demands. 100%. He is a temporary sojourner amongst others. Idea of permanence or semi-permanence can be there when there is any association with world at mental level. At the physical level, he is aware that he is neither permanent nor is this creation permanent. If you have to draw a picture, a holistic picture of a man of wisdom with the above expressions, like he exists in the world as a temporary sojourner, free of desires, free of expectations, with no rules applicable to him, leads spontaneous life divine, existing in higher plane of consciousness. Can you please close your eyes and think of such a man of perfection in the backdrop of these expressions? Imagine how he will be existing, how he will be living in this world. Such a man of wisdom goes about in the world appearing to others like a mad, deluded person. Funny and peculiar are his ways. World laughs at him. They do not understand him. And he does not understand their way of life. In his inner communication with God, in his inner bliss as self, he may smile sometimes. His gaze may sometimes be vacant. His reaction to most of the things may be totally different from others' reactions. Any worldly minded jiva may see him in such a state and think that he is not normal. He is abnormal. He is mad. Only other who has reached the same state can understand a man of wisdom. Let us look at the commentary. One minute. Thus lived all men of perfection as guiding light for their generations. How can such a man be judged except by men of equal vision and therefore of equal evolution? It is not in every man of realization that we find a definite cue to their inward illumination in their outward behavior. Way back when he met Amma in her ashram in Kerala, she could exactly understand his state. He could understand exactly her state. And both spoke with each other more in silence and very less through words. There was no expression necessary from either of them to be aware of the other's state. Whatever they were outwardly engaged in. Acharya writes, such a man of total realization is extolled in Yoga Vasishtha thus: one who has unveiled the truth in himself sits ever contented in enjoying the nectar of his own infinite peace, his mind and intellect completely at rest, with no inner thought disturbances, reveling in his own real nature. Hari Om Tat Sat.